Welcome back. House Republicans are expected to vote on one budget bill today. One big, beautiful budget bill. House Speaker Mike Johnson believes it will pass despite not having everyone on board. Representatives Tim Burchett, Victoria Spartz, and Tom Massey all set to vote no, saying the plan does not reduce spending enough. Moderates are also raising concerns over cuts to programs like Medicaid. While House Democrats have their own problem with it, they plan to protest the tax cuts in the bill. Republicans can only lose one vote in the House to pass anything on party lines. Joining me now is Texas Congressman Keith Self. Congressman, good to see you. Thanks so much for being here. You've got a whopper on your hands. How are you going to vote?
I'm going to vote yes, because this bill funds President Trump's primary objectives, his priorities. We have got to give him the resources that the American people voted him in for, mainly the border, first and foremost the border, so that Tom Holman can do the repatriations that President Trump promised the country that we would do. Now, having said that, Maria, I believe that this is only the first step, because we will bend the trajectory of the debt and the deficit with this bill. But we have had such massive fiscal blowout spending over the last few years. This is only the first step. We've got to continue to do this, even if we pass this bill. And I think I agree with the Speaker. We will pass this bill.
I mean, look, you've got 3 members already saying they're not going to do it because they're not spending cuts enough. What are the spending cuts that you think are most important that we should highlight? And where are the offsets in this bill?
Well, the spending cuts could be anywhere. People ask me, where are you going to cut? And I'm going to say we could cut almost anywhere. There is bloat in the federal government. Just a couple of stories. An IRS employee who came to one of my town halls said, yes, I love this. Let's find cuts. We've got bloat in the IRS. In my flight up yesterday, I sat next to a lady who works for a major contractor. She said, yes, I see malaise. That's the word she used, malaise and bloat in the federal agency she works with. So yeah, it could be anywhere. But let me tell you, we cannot get to where we need to go without Medicaid.
Right. We're talking about $2 trillion in spending cuts that you're expecting to get, right? I mean, at least $1.5 trillion in spending cuts, which is, right, $880 billion Medicaid cuts, reforms. Is that what you're talking about in terms of cutting into Medicaid?
Let me be very clear. We're not talking about cutting any benefits. We're talking about the biggest cohort in Medicaid today is able-bodied adults. Why is that? That has been a blowout sector of Medicaid. Why is that? That's something that we need to look at first and foremost. But Medicaid is where a lot of these savings could come from. But there are other places as well. But Medicaid is the one that people are talking about. But again, I want to emphasize, no cuts to benefits. We're going to streamline Medicaid, get the able-bodied people back to work.
Are we looking at deregulation by layoff? I want to get your take on what the Department of Veterans Affairs has done. They've dismissed more than 1,400 non-critical positions, including DEI-related roles, in an effort to save more than $83 million a year. The resources will be redirected toward health care and other benefits and services for veterans. Congressman, you're on the Veterans Affairs Committee. Tell us if there is even more fat to cut there and how you're actually looking at saving money just by those cuts alone.
Well, first of all, these are probationary employees. Depending on the program, they've been in their job less than a year or less than 2 years. So this will save almost $100 million, according to the Secretary. And he is guaranteed, and again, I want to go to the veterans that are watching this program. The Secretary Collins has said he will not cut health care benefits nor harm beneficiaries. We're going to direct this almost $100 million back into health care, as you just said. So, no, I don't think that this harms anyone. Could there be more? Frankly, on my time on the VA committee, the Veterans Affairs Committee, we need to just clean up the leadership in the VA hierarchy, and I believe that Secretary Collins will do, which will in and of itself set a standard of better leadership within VA, and I think that'll take care of a lot of what we're seeing there.
And if you see this bill tonight delayed in any way, is it fair to assume that we should focus on the 2-part plan out of the Senate?
Well, I'll leave that to the Speaker, but I believe that the Speaker firmly believes that he is going to get this bill passed today. So let's don't deal in hypotheticals. Let's just deal with the bill that's on the floor. Thank you, Maria.
Meanwhile, we've got two wars that this president is trying to help end. The president said that a lot of progress has been made toward ending the war on Ukraine and on the potential minerals deal while hosting French President Macron at the White House yesterday. Watch this.
I think the war can end soon.
How soon?
Within weeks. European troops may go into Ukraine as peacemakers. So when the agreement is done, they can watch that everything's followed properly. I think it's to the very much benefit of Russia to make a deal. That's what you have to do. But I really believe that he wants to make a deal.
Congressman, you're also on the Foreign Affairs Committee. I want to get your thoughts on this. But first, here's my talk Sunday with the National Security Advisor, Michael Waltz. Watch this. Can you acknowledge that Russia is the aggressor here?
And President Trump's own words have been that Russia invaded a neighbor under Bush, under Obama, and under Biden, but not him. It didn't happen his first term, and he's going to bring it to an end his second term. People are welcome to bring better ideas, but all I've heard is perpetuate more war. And that is, no one should be surprised that that's not what President Trump campaigned on or intends to do.
Congressman, the media is making a big deal about President Trump's comments. They say he's pivoting toward Russia. Your thoughts?
Well, the first question I have for everybody is how long do you want this war to go on and the slaughter to continue? All wars end. It's time for this war to end. And I will tell you, having deployed on 3 different continents during my military career, we need to end this war now because neither side needs to sustain it. And frankly, I think the agreement will come. I don't think anyone, a rational person, thinks that the eastern oblasts are going to go back to Ukraine. So let's find a way forward. Let's end this war, and let's deal with the periphery issues that you mentioned just a while ago. Let's deal with them afterwards, but let's get this slaughter stopped.
All right, Congressman, we'll be watching your work, sir. Thanks very much for being here this morning.
Thank you, Maria.